tell me where
I just got.
We are live.
Hello, everyone. That's not here yet.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Besides us.
It's just us.
We'll just continue talking amongst ourselves, I guess.
We'll just talk to ourselves. Yeah, man.
How about that game that I don't watch?
We got one viewer.
What's
up,
right?
viewer? Probably one of us.
What's going on, viewers? Viewer.
3 viewers. There we go.
There should be someone here because we have 5 likes.
Yeah.
6 right now.
Holy moly, we have
snap. Here we go. Now we got
5 likes and a dislike already.
Now
a dislike already. Awesome. Oh, that was me. I did that. No, I didn't.
Ricky, what's up?
Hey, Ricky.
Joe, Scary Larry Jones, what's going on, brother?
There we go. Now we got some folks dropping in.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll give it half a minute before we really get going here. I'm
going to share it in the syndicate.
Sweet.
Generation 1, Red Alert. Good to see you tonight. And if I butcher y'all's name, I apologize.
We got So Dope. We got Ricky Dones. We got Venom Fang. We got Joe Leone, Scary Larry Jones. I know you're going to be here just for a little bit, and thank you for showing up for as long as you can.
Yeah.
Gen 1 Red Alert. So everybody that's first on always gets a shout out.
Oh, definitely.
That's how it needs to be in my book.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to go ahead and start the introduction of what we are doing. And I know I'm looking off in the wrong direction for the camera, but basically what I have asked these gentlemen, we've got Craig from NotAnotherRetroChannel. Go ahead and say hello while I put you on the camera.
What's up, good people? How's it going?
We've got DewDawg of DewDawg Reviews.
What's happening, everybody? It's your boy DewDawg up in here, y'all. Good to see you tonight.
Oops, and I switched you off already. And then TMan978. Go ahead.
Greetings, everyone. How are y'all doing?
All right. So basically, I asked these 3 gentlemen to join me tonight. We all know that Toys R Us is no more, or at least mostly no more. We know that Toys R Us is closing pretty much all of their U.S. stores. We know that their UK stores are closing. We do know that Canada is, for the most part, they're hoping to sell their Canada and keep that open. Whether or not that will truly amount to anything. Last I saw, they didn't actually have a buyer, but that could be, different now. So I wanted to ask these guys to give their input on the primary topics tonight are not so much what did Toys R Us do wrong. It's more of what does this mean for the action figure community, collector community, and then what might this mean for toy manufacturers, collectibles, and then what does the future of collectibles look like for us action figure aficionados and hunters and whatever all we do? What is it gonna do to our community? So I'm gonna do my best to moderate this as well as I can and keep it interesting with some okay questions. But I'm going to go ahead and throw out the first question that I've got really is what, if anything, do you think this will do to the price of action figures for us collectors? What the price? What, is that going to go up? Is it going to go down or nothing?
Any one of us first?
I honestly think it would, if they were going to play it safe, they would keep the price the same right now to see how it all levels out. Because, for instance, Hasbro, I found out today, has 10% of their income is only from Toys R Us. Dude, that's a huge amount of money from one company. I mean, one store brings in 10% for Hasbro alone. Now, I have no idea what they bring in for other companies, Mattel and all that. So, I mean, if they were going to play it safe, if I were them, but of course I'm not. But if I was, I'd at least keep it the same for a little while, anyways.
I would definitely keep it the same because nobody wants to pay what they're charging already. Like they just raised the prices of like a lot of different things like Transformers. Like those movie Transformers jumped from $17 to $20, and the $25 ones, the Voyager class, jumped to $30 for the movie figures. And it's like, no, nobody wants to pay that already. So they might as well consider themselves dead if they go any higher than that.
Yeah, I definitely think that they're going to have to keep the prices the same no matter what going forward, just because of what's happening with Toys R Us. I think retailers really have to take note, and I think also, the makers, they're going to have to keep it cool because I know what Toys R Us is 15% of the toy industry. They were saying something like that.
Yeah, I think it was around 15%, 10 to 15, I think is what I saw.
Wow, see, that's a huge. There again, I didn't know that until you guys just said it, but 15%, man, that's a in the business world.
Yes.
That's a huge market. Yeah.
So
it's scary.
Obviously, we don't know, but last I saw was that Toys R Us. I saw someone had posted somewhere. It was they were an employee at a Toys R Us somewhere, and their management told them at their local shop that they were likely going to be closing their store in about 3 months from now. Now, that may not be nationwide, but if that's the case, just give me your ballpark idea of when you think Toys R Us stores might start actually clearancing their stock.
Now.
or will they?
I think now, and then in as much, if they're starting now, probably 2 months, 3 months, like you're saying, if we're lucky, they'll still be open. But I think the clearances are going to start now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I actually read something today, an official statement from them, and basically they were going into the liquidation part of it. So, that's inevitable. They're going to have to start pretty immediate,
How aggressive do you think they'll be? Do you think they'll be extraordinarily aggressive so that they can clear stuff out really fast? Or do you think that they're going to kind of do it gradually, hoping that they can squeeze every penny out of it?
I would say gradually.
I think...
maybe like
Go ahead, Craig.
Maybe like a week at a time, gradual. Maybe, 10% off, then 20% off, then 30% off. Maybe something like that, but that's kind of what I'm expecting to see. Could be wrong.
Yeah, most of them start at 30%. So I don't know. It makes me excited to hear the discounts, but then I have to think, oh yeah, the last time I went, nothing was there. So
well, see, I'm with T-Man on that too. Both of my Toys R Us, same thing. Every now and then I walk in and see something awesome, like an entire wave of whatever, and I'm pumped about it. But that's rare though, and usually when they go on sale, there ain't nothing there anyways for me to buy. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in the chat we've got Iron Patriot posted that they're starting discounts as soon as possible. Last day is July 31st. So I don't know actually when the full liquidation needs to be completed, and I don't know, Iron Patriot, where your information is coming from, but it sounds legit enough to me. And then Scary Larry said that he's in California and it's supposed to be happening next week for the next 60 days. So I don't know, and that could be each location may have different dates, is what my thought process is that some of them are going to close sooner than others. My guess would be the ones that are a little more profitable might be able to stay open slightly longer than the ones that are basically dead already. But who knows? It's all speculation at this point.
Yeah, Iron Patriot, he sent me an article earlier today. I wish there was a way I could just throw it up, but anyways, it is confirmed basically by CNN. I believe it was CNN, and that's what they were talking about. So, you know, it is what it is on that.
All right. So Iron Patriot just said its article's online about it. So I wouldn't doubt it. So I mean, a lot of businesses, their fiscal year ends July 31st anyway, so it wouldn't be surprising if at least everything fiscally has to be closed out by July 31st, assuming that's their fiscal year and what the bankruptcy, I guess, agreement happens to be. So moving right along. So I saw an interesting article the other day that Chuck Schumer of New York had written to the FCC asking them basically to make Toys R Us cash out any Toys R Us gift cards that people might have. And just wanting to get, and this is kind of a weird question because I just thought it was interesting and I hadn't thought about it, but what do you guys think? Do you think it would be Toys R Us's duty to cash them out, or no? Or do you not care?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I care.
Oh, we lost DewDawg.
I got interrupted, but am I back? I don't know. Just lost it.
Yep, you're back. You're back.
Okay.
As long as you can hear us.
Anyways, I hear y'all. I see you now. Basically, they can do whatever they want to do. They do not have to cash in their gift cards at all legally, because companies in the past have done that and left people high and dry, and there's nothing. People tried to sue them and they lost every case. So if I was anybody right now with any amount of gift card, I would run to, I wouldn't even buy online. I'd run to an actual store and go ahead and swipe it, man. I don't care if you're buying a pack of gum or a micro machine or whatever. Go ahead and use it, man, because I don't see it. I don't know if they're good folks, but in the business world, they don't care about all that. I don't think they'll honor them. I don't know, or cash them out. I mean,
yeah, I heard a story where they were urging people to come use them, but I'm not sure if they're going to actually cash them out. And if they need money, it's sort of like you're getting the money is already paid for, because if you buy toys or diapers or anything, they still got to give you the stuff for free. So I don't know.
I mean, they're $4 billion in debt already. I mean, what's another, chump change? I don't know.
Well,
right.
That's kind of my thought process on it, and DewDawg, you kind of hit it with it's you buy it, they're not really. I don't think that they really have to pay it out because you've had X amount of time to use it, and most gift cards are never redeemable for cash. It almost always says not redeemable for cash. It's only for in-store credit. So, my guess is, and like you said, get out there and use it soon before everything that you might have wanted is gone. And my recommendation would also be to make sure, if you have Toys R Us rewards points where you get some sort of $5 gift card or whatever, make sure you're checking your spam, because mine used to go into my spam. And so I would almost always forget because it would time out or it would expire after X number of days. So check your spam to make sure you don't miss out on that.
Well, one thing that sucks now, how they do the rewards bucks, is after you make a purchase, it takes 15 days for them to actually be accounted for. So with your store might be closed in 15 days. So that'll be sucky.
Yeah. Well, and I know that's, if you've got 14 days or however many days to return the item, so then they can take back the points. So, I mean, that makes sense, but yeah, you'll probably not get any more rewards points. At a certain point, they'll probably discontinue that. Okay, so moving right along, So this next question kind of goes into the realm of what this means for the actual toy manufacturers that are still sticking around. We touched on that Toys R Us was a fairly large percentage of toy sales. What do you think this is going to do for Hasbro and Mattel and some of the other bigger names? I know that, for just side knowledge, Hasbro and Mattel's stocks, they actually dropped considerably. I'm sure they'll rebound, but what do you think it's going to do to these guys?
I believe if they were smart, which they are, they've been around a long time, they're going to have to get super creative, more creative than they ever been. They're not going to be able to depend on specialty stores. But if we think about it, they've been setting that up for years now. Think about it. I just did a toy hunt video in Kroger of all places, and I found, Marvel Legends, the latest wave. I mean, literally the Thanos Build-A-Figure right there in Kroger, man, buying bread and milk, and there's the Marvel Legends. So Hasbro, they're smart, and all those Transformers T-Man lights, they're right there with them. I mean, you got the Marvel Legends, your bread, your milk, and some Transformers. Walgreens, for example, they've been working with Walgreens 5 or 6 years now, and you walk in to get some cough syrup, and boom, there's some there again, same thing. So I think they're gonna have to get more creative than they ever had if they want to survive. They're gonna have to think of something, because that's a huge loss for them too. So. And obviously, I keep saying Hasbro just because I'm mainly a Hasbro collector. So when I say that, I'm saying everybody in general. So,
Yeah, they're going to have a tough time. And like DewDawg just said, when I did one of my last toy hunts and I saw 6-inch Marvel Legends in Best Buy, everybody in my comments was like, wow, they have 6-inch Marvel Legends? And I was just thinking, I thought that was already happening. But since they're already branching out, they're just gonna have to shovel their toys into all types of other stores. Like they might start popping up in supermarkets.
Yeah. I mean, I think all you guys hit it, but I'm really kind of surprised that Hasbro and Mattel didn't kind of jump in to do anything to help out, in any kind of way. That was kind of surprising, because, like we said, that is a huge hit on them. So I'm shocked there. But other than
Hasbro
that, shops and everything else, I mean, that's all they can do, really. I mean, that's what they got.
Yeah, unfortunately, like Craig, I mean, I agree with you. And as far as local community, people with morals or whatever, that sounds amazing. You would think out of all those years and all the money they made off of Toys R Us, they would at least come in and say, okay, I'm going to buy X amount percentage, myself. But they could care less, man. They just said, screw y'all, we're out of here.
So who do you think is going to kind of become or who will fill that void, if anybody? We talked about grocery stores and Walgreens and whatnot. Do you think anybody is really going to kind of fill the void of a toy-centric retail store, or is it really kind of an end of an era where basically there aren't going to be any more toy stores that are kind of chain-based that, touch on one basic product of toys as opposed to the general grocery store and whatnot? What do you think?
I think it's the end. Walmart might put an extra aisle, but they already slimmed things down as it is. So I think maybe Target, since Target is already branching out with their little section that's in the video game area. And maybe Best Buy, once Best Buy gets rid of all of their CDs, music CDs, they'll probably put a bigger toy section in there for more adult collectible stuff. But I don't think we're going to get any more specialty stores unless, like, people just go out and make their own store, their own personal store, but not a whole retail chain.
I kind of think that GameStop, they, the past couple of years, they bought Think Geek because the video game sales is on a decline. The physical video game sales is declining. So they bought that to kind of filled that void, I think it's very possible that we could be seeing more Think Geeks stores in the future. Just call it a hunch.
Well, Craig, you literally took the words out of my mouth. That's exactly where I was going to go with that. I know for a fact the GameStop in my neighborhood, that's exactly what they did. Not only did they buy a Think Geek, but they actually expanded, remodeled. And when you go into mine, y'all sit there again, some of y'all that have seen some videos or whatever, and I'm not like throwing that out there, but I'm just saying when I go in mine, dude, the last 4 Marvel Legends waves, I'm talking cases deep, dude. I'm talking the Warlock wave, the X-Men wave, the Netflix man thing. I got every one of those from GameStop. Straight up walked in and there it was. So I could definitely see all of our not the in-mall GameStops, but the actual self-contained GameStops. Don't be surprised, like Craig said, at seeing them expand, adding on, or whatever, because they have an entire section just for action figures or collectibles or whatever. Matter of fact, Best Buy blew my mind. Best Buy is going to be right there with them because they're the competitor. I walked in my Best Buy and bought that Infinity Gauntlet literally Friday, and they had I didn't know they had an entire collector section, but what they're doing is they're following suit with GameStop, and so Best Buy and GameStop, it's going to be interesting watching these two guys enter in the collectible game,
Great.
I can't wait for them to get SH Figure Arts. Like, most of them have Figma stuff, but they haven't gotten SH Figure Arts yet, besides the Nintendo ones.
Well, and I noticed, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen in your Targets, but my Target had what is it, Kratos from NECA,
I've seen that.
which is a little bit, and they've had a lot more Figma figures. They're doing a lot of the they are expanding, but just really, really slow and pretty minimal thus far. But it would be nice if more of these stores like Best Buy and GameStop and whatnot would just start getting a little bit more stuff. But it'd be nice if they charge the regular price too, because GameStop is, well, there's no point in getting a Marvel Legend there when every other place has it for $19.99.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in going there.
That $22.99 is that killed my purchases.
Hurts.
I only got like 1 or 2 from them.
Kind of filling the void or whatever,
Mhm.
in your holes in your collection or whatever.
Okay, so what do you guys think about the Toys R Us brand? We talked a little bit about the Canada branch or whatever you want to call that potentially staying alive. In the comments, some folks are saying that basically Toys R Us is dead, the brand is dead, it's whatever. What do you guys think? Do you think that we'll see a resurgence of the Toys R Us brand name, or do you think that this really is the end, like KB Toys? It's done.
It's over, brother. Game over. I hate to say it. I love Toys R Us. I'm a Toys R Us kid, and I'm a Toys R Us adult, 37-year-old Toys R Us kid. But it's over, brother. 70 years, 70-year legacy. I mean, and here we are all watching this collapse, man. And, all of this is going to be now is a memory. It's going to be like Blockbuster Video, and it's going to be like KB Toys. And that's the nature of the beast, man. I mean, in my opinion now. That's my opinion. But
So there was a good comment here by DewDawg. Welcome. They said that Toys R Us is the last store. They were filling the void, which, I think that's pretty good perspective. Is really they were filling the void, and this is probably the last of an era, which is sad.
Yeah, unfortunately so. But
I blame the internet.
You blame the internet. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, so I read an article yesterday or the day before that basically said Amazon didn't kill Toys R Us. Basically, what they're saying is Toys R Us killed Toys R Us. But what are your thoughts? Did Amazon kill them, or did they basically kill themselves by not addressing Amazon?
I think
they killed themselves. They did exactly what. Oh, I'm sorry, Craig. Are you talking? I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
They were. I believe they did exactly what oh Lord, what's the name? Blockbuster did when Netflix came out. When Netflix came out, they were mailing DVDs to people. That's fine. But then they transferred over to online, and now Netflix is the biggest streaming thing available. And Blockbuster said, no, we're not going to go that route. People still want to come in our stores. They still want to purchase that. Well, guess what? They were dead wrong. What Toys R Us should have done. Now, obviously, this old country boy from Mississippi, I ain't no businessman, but what they should have done is did exactly what Blockbuster should have done. And when they saw Amazon.com and people like that doing what they were doing with their huge online stores, Toys R Us should have done the same thing. You should be able to go to ToysRUs.com right now and have competitive prices, just like, Amazon. And then that would have helped out tremendously. It may not have saved them, but it would have definitely lasted longer. The legacy would have went a few more years anyways. But
I think what killed them is that company that bought them out left them with all that debt. And so they were never able to save themselves because of the debt. Like I heard that, well, I haven't done super research, but I heard that they were, even though they were making money at their stores, they couldn't cover the debt that company that bought them out brought to them.
Yeah, that usually hurts most businesses if they take on new debt or whatever. I mean, it feels as though they weren't aggressive at trying to compete in the internet realm of internet sales like Amazon, and Walmart's trying. Target doesn't seem like they're really making an effort. But do you think that essentially toy collecting is going to be relegated pretty much entirely to the internet in the next couple of years?
Pretty soon, as far as high-end stuff, because people are so cheap nowadays. And I guess they should be, since the stuff costs so much. Like, this guy came out at $80, but maybe 5 years ago, it probably would have been $45 at Toys R Us. So, I'm almost scared that they're going to stop making toys eventually. I guess we're getting so old, we need to stop worrying about it anyway.
Probably right.
No, we'll always need toys, right? Granted, we can't claim to be a Toys R Us kid anymore, I guess. Otherwise, nobody's going to know what we're talking about.
One thing with them being competitive or whatnot, somebody pointed out in my comments that they did price match. So if you saw something cheaper on Amazon, you could go up to the front and get them to lower the price for you.
They were decent with their price matching, but I think there was only 1 or 2 times that I found a worthwhile deal on their website. Like, it was pretty rare that I ever ordered anything from them. And that was the most annoying part, because my store didn't have a lot of stock that I wanted to get, but they also didn't have it online either.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had the same experience.
Their app sucks. It was so slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I've never even downloaded their app. I didn't,
I think their app stopped working after about a year ago. I don't, because I downloaded it and it didn't work at all.
So that's what killed them, Matt. That's what killed them, the app, dude.
Yeah,
it still works. That's how I used to go in my reward books.
Oh, really?
Like, I had to actually go in, click rewards, and then I had to actually click that I wanted to get the rewards, or else it would just keep adding up.
Oh, sure. Huh. I don't know why mine didn't work, and I didn't take much time to even try.
GameStop's app works the same way, man. I didn't know that. I had like $10 saved up, and they were like, "Oh, you got to go in here, redeem it." And I'm like, "Why? Why don't I just log in and it's there? Just scan the barcode and let me get a discount or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
But
that's a process.
All right, so question that I didn't actually have this one written down, but it just popped in my head. So do any of you guys know any people that actually work at Toys R Us and that you've talked to about any of these things, like what they're doing? What is Toys R Us doing for them? What information have they given them? I know they didn't give them a whole lot of information prior to the decision, but do you guys know anybody that works for Toys R Us that has been able to give you any information?
I'm too busy talking to myself when I'm in there.
Yeah, I don't know anybody personally that works there, family, friends, whatever. I know. I mean, and another thing, now that you said that, I've never thought about it, but I have never, and as many times I've been in a Toys R Us, I honestly have never had an employee walk up to me and say, "Hey, can I help you with something?" That just hit me, dude, like an epiphany. I don't know. Maybe it's just mine, but I just realized like that was a thing. But anyway, maybe that's
they bother me and they interrupt my toy hunts.
Oh, okay.
Hey, can I help you? No, leave me alone. Sorry.
I'm trying to record. Sir, what are you doing with that camera?
Great. Now I gotta pause, re-record.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm never going to be able to recreate that super excited response or reaction I had of, wow, there's nothing here.
Man. That's hilarious. The struggle's real, man. Yeah.
It is. Well, and mine was really, really good. It usually was, there was usually two people that were kind of walking around the aisles, and they would usually always stop and ask me, and they started recognizing me, and so now, I mean, they knew that I was always going to be there pretty much every other day, and I mean, they knew what answer they had to give is no, we don't have that, but
that's horrible.
They've got plenty of the Juggernaut and plenty of Hawkeyes still.
Oh man.
Except for the good ones that people actually want.
Your Toys R Us sounds like Kmart.
Oh, we still have a Kmart.
Oh, you do? We don't. No.
Yeah,
not in over here on my side of Georgia.
A couple of videos ago, I posted and I walked in there and I literally noticed it's like really dark in here, and they literally had turned off every other bank of lights that they used to have on, that they're barely lighting the place. I was just like, just close. I don't know why anybody's there. So I don't know.
Look, Matt, let me ask you this. I know you're the one asking questions. What do you think they're going to do? Do you think these exclusives in the collector world will go up now? No Toys R Us, and now you've got toys with Toys R Us stickers. And for those men on card people out there, now obviously I like opening my stuff, but for those men on card people, do you think it'll actually increase in value? Just curious. What's your thoughts on that?
My thought is, knowing that Hasbro seems to be starting a slight new trend of re-releasing their exclusives. Now, I think that Hydra 2-pack, that actually has a Toys R Us exclusive tag on it, right? It says Toys R Us.
Correct.
But I would not doubt if they maybe re-release some of those, because I feel like they're re-releasing figures that they see are pulling money on, be it eBay or whatever. And so they're re-releasing them. So I wouldn't doubt it if we see another Hydra 2-pack, but maybe not the exact same one, or different packaging, just so that they can. What would be really funny though is if they re-release it with the Toys R Us tag on it and just say, screw it, who cares?
So,
Let's just re-release it.
Grab this Walmart with the Toys R Us exclusive.
Why not?
And the shade of
I have a feeling that might happen.
Yeah, I can see that happen.
Like certain stores might be happy to be like, oh, hey, here's some Toys R Us toys that you can get, so they still live on spiritually through Walmart.
Okay, so here's another question that's kind of on the same track of that is, inevitably, Toys R Us is going to likely have some stock after they've done their liquidation, or they're gonna wind up at the end. They're just gonna have to sell all their crap to some one or two big
Marshalls.
buyers. Yeah, who do you think is gonna buy that up? Nice. We got a King Kong.
Marshalls and Ross.
Yeah.
Marshalls and Ross.
That's a good point.
Maybe Five Below.
Oh yeah,
Five
please.
Below's in on the game too.
If I can get some $30 figs at Five Below, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Well, we've got a whole bunch of Rick Flags at mine, and it's brand new store. So if you want a Rick Flag for $5,
Oh no.
I was
Not
so
even
disappointed when I walked in there and saw that. I was like, really?
It's like, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thought I was
Not
gonna.
even for $5. I still skip them.
I can't do the multiverse. It's just the sculpt and paint are okay, but the articulation is just
Man, the only thing that good coming out of that at the moment is the King Shark, which that's in the past now, and then that clay face. I mean, everything else, man. I don't know. I just can't get into it, man. But I try, but
Craig, I can't remember. Craig, do you collect any of the multiverse?
I did until I tried to swap their heads and broke them. I was kind of done after that.
I was hoping you were going to say I did until I stopped.
Yeah. I think the last multiverse figure I bought was Romper Flash. I think that was it. And that's when I broke that Bruce Wayne.
And that's a rough figure, dude.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
But like DewDawg was saying, the Clayface wave, it looks pretty sick. So maybe when it goes unclean, probably pick those up.
So we've got in the chat here, there's someone called Gen 1 Red Alert. They're saying big lots.
Gen 1 Red Alert.
Yeah.
Big lots
Gen 1.
I don't even think we have a big lots in my town.
Yeah, well, see, big lots is more like a second party, third party, that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's kind of like, well, it's not quite as bad as like bargain hunt. Bargain hunt, it's like when nobody can sell anything, it goes to bargain hunt. You know, big lots, it's kind of in between, you know, but they get stuff that Walmart can't sell and that kind of thing. So I don't know if they would invest in something like that, but.
And then Damien 23 Hunter is saying that Walgreens will pick up some of the exclusives, or not Walmart, Walgreens.
I believe that. Now, I mean, have you guys ever? Not say I've never met him in person, obviously, but Stephen Ann, he's the toy guy for Walgreens. Any of y'all, whatever exclusives you want or toys in general you get from Walgreens, it's because of this guy. He is a collector. And he knows the heartbeat of the collector community. And he's the one responsible for getting Marvel Legends, Transformers, Halo, the Walking Dead figures, all that stuff is because of that. Even those mini mates, it's all because of this guy. So I could see him, kind of going in and saying, hey, let's dedicate an entire aisle. Because I've never walked into Walgreens yet where it's a complete aisle. It's like usually half an aisle or something like that. But I could see them expanding a little bit, not too crazy, but
some of mine have been bigger recently. Like they have, it's actually like two sides of an aisle. It's not on both sides. Oh, so right. Yeah, like you're saying, an entire aisle. That would be cool.
Yeah, I could see them doing that, making room.
Yeah, as long as they don't go to Rite Aid, then everything will be up in price.
No. Rite Aid.
So do you see any of these smaller shops like the Walgreens or GameStop or what was it, Think Geek or anything like that, or Hot Topic? Do you see any of them expanding their toy realm at all because of this, or do you anticipate that they're going to kind of stay the same for the most part to kind of and are any of them profiting that you know of?
I think it's going to go savage, brother. Every man for himself. Everybody's going to want a piece of that little pie. So, but that's what I think. But
yeah, I would definitely expect GameStop and definitely expand, and we'll probably see some new lines towards the end of the year that we haven't seen from them pick up. So I can see that.
Yeah, I think Craig knows something. that we don't
Yeah,
know.
he's got that smirk on his face, man. He's got
What do
that
you
inside.
know?
What do you know?
Where are they? What have you done? Get my Batman voice. Hey, Batman.
Well, there you go. What knowledge do you have?
Where are they? It's the only voice I can halfway do is basically.
Nah, I mean, listen, I think we all know, even not just us four in here, but I mean the community out there. I mean, I think everybody knows that we're going to see some interesting things happen. We're going to see these toys pop up in places. I mean, I've already seen them pop up in places I never thought I would. J.C. Penney, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
What? J.C. Penney? How you going to go buy a blazer for a Sunday morning or whatever and then look over there and see some, WWF or WWE action figures? I mean, so.
Yeah, don't they call it like Toyland or something?
Right. And see, that's the little sleeper sale. I could see them kind of expanding a little bit, or Kohl's or Belk or whatever, man,
Yeah, I think Kohl's has like
Oh, that's what I'm thinking
two
about.
pegs
Kohl's.
worth of
Kohl's
3 pegs worth of stuff. Yeah, they got pops and then they got a lot of the more kid stuff, which is kind of ironic when we're talking about action figures to say it's kid stuff.
Very true. Very true.
But so someone here, this was an interesting question that I actually didn't write down, but I'm glad that this guy DQSLIGH, I don't know if that's pronounceable or not, but they just wrote, I'm curious as to what will happen to the IPs Toys R Us owns. They own the trademarks for KB and KAO Schwartz. And I had that question, what will happen to the trademarks and whatnot that Toys R Us owns when they go kaput? And how long are those restricted that somebody couldn't just start up their own and start using Toys R Us? Can they? I don't know anything about this business law.
That's a really good question.
And who would want to?
And as big as media is now, I mean, as big of a fall as Toys R Us has taken, I wouldn't just say, hey, let me get a personal loan and start my own mom and pop shop called Toys R Us, guys. What do you think about that idea? No. No.
I would love a KB again.
KB was awesome.
Well, see, KB, you could throw something like open a store, KB Retro or whatever, so throw another word on it. And it'd be like, oh, yeah, KB Toys or something like that. Toys R Us is just way too fresh and just, it ain't going to happen, man. Well, let me take that back. I'm not going to say it ain't going to happen, but somebody might swoop in. Heck, Disney's buying everything. Why don't they just swoop them in and take it all, man?
All right. So I saw another question in here. Where the heck did it go? Well, we'll just have to miss that question, I guess, because I can't remember where it's at. Okay, so Brad Campbell, by the way, welcome, Brad.
Brad.
He just wrote in there that dirt cheap Tuesday morning Ross Marshalls, that he's thinking they'll pick up the leftover stock from TRU. I forgot about dirt cheap and Tuesday morning, mainly because I don't have them, and we don't have a Marshalls that has anything decent, which Marshalls is a lot like Ross and TJ Maxx. And TJ Maxx ain't picking nothing up, because at least not in my town, because they never have anything.
There again, that's what I'm sure you guys have seen this, and people jump in that are actually knowledgeable. But when Ross, for instance, people think Ross is their own thing. There again, it's not. People blow their minds when they see, man, I just found a Walmart exclusive at Ross. How did that happen? Because they're a third party. They get the trickle down effect. Whatever they don't sell, whatever Walgreens doesn't sell, Toys R Us doesn't sell, Target doesn't sell. That's why you see it at Ross. Or now I don't know about TJ Maxx, but places like that. That's why you see those exclusives in those stores.
Yeah, TJ Maxx too. They sell the same stuff.
Okay, I've never been in there.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as Marshall and Ross.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Well, Marshalls is owned by Target, right? And and I think Target owns TJ Maxx as well. I think, because I thought it was Dayton because so it's Minnesota, I think, because Target is based in Minnesota, and I'm pretty certain I have the internet in front of me and I could look it up, but who owns Marshall's? Pretty sure it's Target, because you see at TJ Maxx, you'll see Target stuff there. Not that it's super important, but TJX, yeah, I think that's TJ Maxx companies. Anyway, yeah. I won't bore us too much longer. So Brad had an interesting question or thought that I liked, and he said he's curious if TRU might open seasonal pop-up stores, kind of like they do with the Toys R Us Express stores.
I don't think they will be able to if they're closed
gone,
as a company. Yeah.
No. I don't think so either.
What about seasonal toy store, kind of like how you get the Halloween Express stores? Do you see
I would love that if it happened.
I don't think so.
If they just did it during the run up to Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, I think, man, like we said earlier, the nails in the coffin, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I hate it. I hate that I'm even saying all this. I hate that we're having this discussion because I love Toys R Us and it sucks, but that's the nature of the beast. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the actual toy community and action figures and whatnot. Do you think that this will have an effect on the basically the what's the word that I'm trying, not selection, but maybe selection of figures that we have available to us from Hasbro? Do you think Hasbro is going to reduce maybe the number of waves that they sell, and reduce the amount of stock that they push out, that they actually manufacture, now that they know that they have one less major retailer to have to supply? They can do a little more of a on-demand production? Or what do you think is going to happen with that, if any changes?
They're going to have to reduce because they don't have enough Toys R Us to rely on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. It's inevitable. I mean, 10%, man, of your finances is coming from one place. You're going to have to back it on up, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Unless they do something crazy and sell it on their own website, which they hardly restock. Hasbro Toy Shop, which a lot of people probably don't even know exists.
Right.
The only time I get on there is during SDCC, and see that there again, Hasbro should be, man, everybody should be pushing their own line. So I mean, that's just what it is. Hasbro Toy Shop, like T-Man said. I mean, man, you should be able to go on there, get whatever Marvel Legend you want, whatever transfer, whatever toy you want that they make. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to log in and get that bad boy.
Yeah.
Now, like a few years ago when Transformers Combiner Wars came out, I was able to pre-order the second wave before it even came out. And I was one of the first people to be able to get those reviews out because of that. But it seemed like since then it slowed down, which really sucks. And I suggested to them on their website, I suggested that they should definitely make an app, because people are more likely to shop from an app than they are to actually go to their web browser. Like doing things on a web browser is starting to get stale and old.
Now, I'm not a Transformer collector or whatever, so I'm not in on all that, the knowledge or whatever. So what was that? Was it like a specialty thing?
They're regular retail toys, but they were nowhere on shelves.
Oh, okay.
But Hasbro Toy Shop came out of nowhere. Yeah, and Hasbro Toy Shop came out of nowhere with pre-orders. So one of my friends, he messaged me in the morning "Hey, pre-order this stuff." So I was super happy about that.
Hasbro Toy Shop, they have an eBay store and they have an Amazon market store. and I ordered from, I don't remember which one it was that I ordered from, and they charged me shipping for one of them, and then I saw it was on eBay and had free shipping. And so I was like, oh, well, I think it was the one that was on Amazon that they had, that they were charging me shipping. So, and it was a really good price. And so I was like, I'll just cancel the Amazon one. And
I didn't know about their Amazon.
Yeah. Now, I mean, they don't always have products available, but they have.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is I canceled it, but they shipped it out after I canceled it. And I sent a note and was like, well, I wanted to cancel it. So they're like, oh, we'll just refund you the money. And I'm like, well, you just shipped it. What do I do about that? They just said, keep it. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Awesome. So it was like Giant Man from the Ultron wave and I think Grim Reaper. So it wasn't anything amazing, but I had gotten them for $6 each. So I got 2 of each for basically $3 each, which was kind of cool. So that's
one cool thing about them or their store is every so often, even if you pick free shipping, they'll just randomly FedEx the stuff to you. Like I ordered Miles Morales, the 3 3/4 inch Spider-Man off of their eBay store for $10, free shipping. And the next thing I know, it was like FedEx to me in 2 days. I was like, they FedExed me a $9 toy. So I'm like, wow.
That's so weird, man. I don't get on it.
Yeah, I don't actually understand why anybody uses FedEx when, you could use the post office and maybe Amazon has a really good deal or Hasbro Toy Shop has a good deal, but I've tried to ship with I've tried to ship with FedEx and I'm looking at them like, geez, that's like $16, and at the post office it'd be like $7. Okay, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
well, they're in such a totally different world than we are, and I mean they're shipping millions and millions of packages. Dude, there's no telling what kind of discount or whatever, or heck, they may own half of FedEx. I mean, who knows, man?
I'm thinking they might. Amazon drives the stuff to you personally though, because they have warehouses in every city.
Yeah, everywhere.
They've been putting up a lot more. Because we've got a distribution center in Shakopee, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from here. So, that's how. Sometimes you'll order something, and you'll get it next day, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And I imagine if you live in the same city or pretty darn close, you could probably get it same day, which would be nice.
Yeah, I'm lucky.
Figures.
I'm sorry, Craig. Go ahead. I keep interrupting you, brother. I can't hear you. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm good.
What I was going to say, this is a great example. It's funny how this conversation evolved into this point, because Amazon is a brilliant company. Man, they have evolved, and that's what it takes. You have to evolve. I mean, now they're going into the digital thing, and I'm not talking about their Amazon.com. I'm talking like Hulu and all this other stuff. Amazon Video. I mean, they're such a huge market, and like y'all just said, they've got their stores in towns that are close to you. So, it's got their own little mini distribution places. And so they're not spending all this crazy money trying to ship it across the nation or whatever. Toys R Us didn't do that. I don't know of a Toys R Us distribution center anywhere around me anyways. So, but Amazon, 45 minutes up the road in Atlanta. So,
well, I think because Amazon has such a vast, market that they deal in, that they're so big that they can cut out a lot of the middleman, especially in the shipping aspect of things, that really Amazon just needs a postal carrier of some sort to do the last mile type of delivery on most things. I mean, how often it's just they hand it off to the post office or whatever just for the last part of it, so they don't have to pay all that much for shipping. But and I can't imagine that Toys R Us would have had the capability of putting in some sort of infrastructure like that unless they worked with another company like a Walmart or something, which Walmart has trucking. But most of the shipments that I see that come in from to Toys R Us were always UPS just bringing crap. Like they're shipping stuff to their stores like we would get stuff at our house.
Right. Well, see, there again, Walmart is another example of a brilliant company. I mean, not even 20 minutes up the road, looks like a doggone city, but it's a Walmart distribution center, man, and it looks like 50 Optimus Prime trucks sitting there with Walmart on the trailer, just waiting to ship stuff out. I mean, right here in Monroe, Georgia. So there again, I think might be a key to why, or one reason why they failed too.
Alrighty,
people were hoping that Amazon was going to buy Toys R Us, but that didn't happen.
I just don't think that Amazon needs Toys R Us. Or they certainly didn't need them. They didn't even need them 5-10 years ago, because they may be 10% of Hasbro and Mattel's, sales. They're probably not even a percentage of what Amazon sales is, because toys is not really likely to be Amazon's main profit getter. So that's probably why they can afford to. Well, I bet you Amazon doesn't even really care about the Hasbro stuff that much, but that's just my uneducated guess. Alrighty, so we are coming up on the 7 o'clock hour, and I halfway promised that we would end on time. So, any last thoughts? Be it if you want 30 seconds to cry on air for the loss of Toys R Us, by all means, I will kick you out. But if you want to do anything other than cry, otherwise, I want to just say thank you so much to everybody watching and to everybody who joined me. But I'm going to give you guys the floor if you have anything to say, or we'll just have dead silence. That's fine.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone that tuned in on Matt's channel tonight, and it was an awesome time, great conversation, great discussion, and it's sad, it's disappointing, it sucks for all the families out there that are losing their jobs. That's the reality of it when it all comes down to it. We have to put our pride out of the way, our stuff out of the way. Screw the toys. I mean, these people are losing their jobs, and I mean, God knows, that's way more important than what we've been discussing all night. But anyways, that's my opinion. It's your boy DewDawg. Thanks for joining in.
Thank you, DewDawg. Yeah.
I was definitely sad to hear that we'll be losing another option out there as far as toy hunting. But when I really started hearing, like what DewDawg said, that how many people are going to be out of jobs, that really made me feel sad, like watching the news. So yeah, it's going to super duper suck. But I don't know. Here are some things I was able to get at Toys R Us because they were not bad, but I'm
breaking up.
I broke up.
It's because I cut you off because I thought you were crying.
I don't know the last thing y'all heard.
I only heard you showed a Transformer, a big old green one, and said this is what you got from Toys R Us or something like that.
Oh, Toys R Us.
Then he sounded
I also wanted to show some exclusive.
Yeah, you started sounding like a robot.
I'm out.
Yeah,
I might be.
It's going to be really sad. I mean, this is really sad, just like you guys already stated, for all the people losing their jobs. I mean, I think they said it was 36,000 people losing their jobs. That's huge. So, thoughts and stuff goes out to those people. But for toys, we'll find them. We'll find them. It's all good. They're out there. So we just got to go and find them.
Exactly.
Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to Craig, Not Another Retro Channel, DewDawg from DewDawg Reviews, and TMan978. Thank you guys for joining me and talking about kind of a bummer of a topic, but it's fun. It's fun to speculate on what these sorts of changes potentially are going to mean to the community. It may not be but a blip on our shelves, but it'll definitely be the end of an era and a lot of memories that most of us older folks and the next generations will be, why do you keep singing I'm a Toys R Us kid? That means nothing to me and it makes no sense. So it's the end of an era. But again, thank you guys. Thank you to all of those of you who joined us in the chat and watching. And I'm just going to end it because I'm not good at ending these. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.